A very good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining us early this morning. And it's morning, of course, where I am, but for all of you all who joined us from different parts of the world, thank you for joining and a good day to all of you. This is our fourth edition of, the monthly series that we started at Reseller Club, which is this month at Reseller Club. And today, we are going to take you guys through more details and in depth on, the WHMCS and selling WHMs, selling our products and services through the WHMCS modules. So, yeah, can we move to the next slide? So yes, thank you for joining us today. Before I just take you guys through the quick overview of the panel, I just want to, a lot of you are, joining these events for the first time. So I wanted to just talk about what this event is and what was the reason behind actually starting it and what, our vision with it is. So yes, of course, because of the pandemic, the events and, how we would engage with, all of you and all our clients changed a lot. And our vision at Reseller Club has been to actually try and keep explaining, our products and services, our system, anything else that we have, and impart that education and learning so that you guys can, your teams can get upskill, learn more about our platform and everything outside this as well. And keeping that endeavor in mind, we used to do these offline events called Control F5 within just India. But the pandemic forced us to think a little outside the box, and we took all our events online. Needless to say, like a lot of other people out there have done. And we, along with doing Control F5, we also started this monthly series called This Month at Reseller Club, wherein we try and cover, one of our products or modules, something about the system in detail every month. So that was a quick overview of what we are here to do. This is the fourth session. And like I said, today we will be talking about using the WHMCS and WHMCS modules for our products and services. The panel that you guys see, just wanted to take a quick run through of how that looks. On the left side is the desktop view, and on the right side, as you can see, is the mobile view. You can do a couple of things with your panel. You can raise your hand using the hand icon. You can submit questions or comments using the question mark that you see there. And there's a handout section as well for some of the handouts that we have. For a better view on the mobile screen, you can also go on the landscape view, and that's recommended by us. So just quickly want to check if everyone can hear me clearly. So can you guys hear me clearly? And if you can you please raise your hand? So I just want to start seeing a few hands raised in the panel, so I'll know that you guys can hear me okay. Okay, quite a few going up there. Great, thank you. Thank you guys. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to quickly hand over the presentation to our speaker today. We have, actually, I'm so sorry. I don't think I introduced myself before I introduced Jonathan. I am Meenal. Met some of you guys, in many sessions earlier, even offline. And I handle, our events and some part of marketing for Reseller Club. And today we have Jonathan D'Souza, who is our senior lead for tech operations at Reseller Club. And hi, Jonathan. So good
Hi,
to have
Meena.
you.
Thank you so much.
So I'm going to hand it over to Jonathan, and he'll take care of everything today for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meenal. Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you who've tuned in from India, and good afternoon and good evening to all of you who've tuned in from other time zones. Thank you for joining us today. We're thrilled to have you. I hope all of you, along with your families, are doing well and are safe in these trying times. As Meenal said, I'm Jonathan D'Souza. I've been with Reseller Club for over 10 years now. And in my latest stint, I've been managing the technical support team here at Reseller Club. And it's always been our aim to provide world-class technical support services to all of you. So without any further ado, let's move ahead in our presentation. Let's talk about the agenda for today. So we will try to cover as much as possible, including a few demonstrations as well. because that is the main agenda and focus of our webinar today, to show you the ease of integration when it comes to all of the modules through WHMCS. So firstly, we will just briefly cover what WHMCS is all about before we move into the benefits of WHMCS, followed by a few typical use cases for all of our clients when it comes to using WHMCS. Then we will also briefly cover the auto installation process for WHMCS, which is through Softaculous Apps Installer within cPanel. So there is also a manual mode of installation, but the manual mode of installation is a very lengthy process. But do not worry, we've got you covered there. The handout, which has already been shared under the handout section, contains the entire list of steps that you can undertake with screenshots and all relevant details. Even the auto installation part is covered there. The manual installation part is covered over there. Besides that, all of the processes and all of the demos that we will be conducting today have also been documented there. So in case you miss out on something, do not worry, you can refer to that handout as well once the webinar is completed. And once we've completed the process of installation, a quick walkthrough, we will move on to the most important part of this webinar, which is the demonstrations that we want to conduct. One is for the domain registrar module that we have within WHMCS, followed by the hosting server setup that is also available within WHMCS. And finally, we will look at some additional provisioning modules for your other products and services like, say, business email, G Suite, etc. This is via Reseller Club mods. Now, and finally, we move on to a few caveats pertaining to when we will be reissuing a WHMCS license. And we then take your questions at the end of the session. Moving on, some of you may already have this question in mind: what is Reseller Club mods, or who are Reseller Club mods, right? So Reseller Club mods is a third-party provider who has done all the hard work when it comes to integrating WHMCS APIs along with Reseller Club APIs. So they've seamlessly undertaken all of your products and services that are sold through Reseller Club, looked at the Reseller Club APIs, integrated them with WHMCS APIs, and these are ready to use in the form of simple auto installation modules. And this team at Reseller Club Mods works very closely with the account management team, the support teams, the sales teams at Reseller Club, with the main focus of providing all of the services that are offered through your Reseller Club control panel via WHMCS. Besides that, they've also extensively worked with Reseller Club APIs, and so you can integrate all of the products and services that are sold through Reseller Club via WHMCS using the Reseller Club mods modules. Finally, it's a very well-known fact that WHMCS is a very well-documented software. So in the handout section, you will also see certain links to these documented videos, as well as other written documents that are available regarding WHMCS. How do you get started? How do you install WHMCS, etc. And at the top, you will also find a detailed document, as I said, pertaining to everything that we will cover during this webinar. So you will go through the installation process there in that document, followed by also the module setup in that document. Now, before we get started, we'd just like to take a quick poll to try to understand what you're looking to learn from this webinar. So you can quickly answer. Oh, I can see a few answers coming in. That's great. Most of you are looking to integrate hosting servers within WHMCS. That's great, because we're also we'll be covering that part. That is one of the main focus areas as well of this webinar. That's great. Some of you also want to learn how to integrate domain registrar modules within WHMCS. So yes, we have something for almost everyone. Where almost 30% of you are looking for domain registrar modules. approximately 40% for hosting and 25 for usage of additional modules. So we're almost equal when it comes to the coverage in this webinar. So do not worry, we have something for all of you. We're still collecting responses. I think a few more seconds, we can leave this poll open. Thank you. We have the poll results. 31% of you are looking at integrating the domain registrar module within WHMCS. 46% of you are looking at hosting server setups within WHMCS, and 23% of you are looking to integrate additional modules with WHMCS. So as I said, we're almost at par with the poll that we've conducted. So that's really great news because we'll be covering all of these three things in our webinar today. So we have something for each one of you. Moving on, so let's get started with the first part of this webinar, which is a brief overview of what WHMCS is all about. Now, running a hosting business involves setting up multiple systems across multiple providers and managing your services across multiple systems. And sometimes this can get a little cumbersome. But WHMCS helps you to be more efficient. It helps you to replace all of these additional systems that you have with one centralized system, it is a single centralized platform through which you can manage all of your products and services across different providers. It is also a powerful tool that it helps to make your work more easier. It helps you automate a lot of stuff, make it streamlined, faster, etc. And using WHMCS, you can automate all aspects of your web presence business. You can automate domain registrations, web hosting, add-on services, everything via WHMCS. Let's cover some of the benefits of WHMCS very quickly. Firstly, it is user-friendly and customizable. WHMCS is extremely easy. Even a lay person without any knowledge on coding or additional technical skills can easily integrate and navigate through the WHMCS control panel. It's just like moving through an admin dashboard for WordPress. Besides that, it also offers a lot of added billing features. So you have added taxation rules, you can offer discounts, coupon codes, promo codes. You can have multiple levels of taxation, invoicing in multiple currencies, etc. So there's a lot of benefits that you can explore through WHMCS. One of the other main benefits of WHMCS is the customer support option that they provide. So you can definitely offers support services as well via WHMCS without any added cost. So you can save on your cost of signing up with a customer service platform. So that is a massive expense that you save on. Besides that, you can also integrate with a wide range of support services like hosting panels, cPanel, Plesk, add-on services, third-party services like SiteLock, CodeGuard, etc. And finally, it is also very flexible and developer friendly. So if you know your coding and you have your coding skills and technical skills in place, you can definitely explore the APIs that WHMCS offers to get all of this set up on your own according to your likes. Let's look at a few typical use cases when it comes to WHMCS. Firstly, one of the most common use cases is someone who is selling domains through one provider and hosting through another provider. So you have clients who are signed up with, say, one registrar for domains and are selling hosting through another. Now, in this case, you would have to sell it via two different systems, manage your services on two different platforms. But with WHMCS, you can integrate both of these and complete your entire customer management, billing management via one WHMCS control panel. Another very important use case, and which most of you have also polled for in the poll that we conducted, is how do you set up a hosting server? Now, what I mean by hosting servers are typically reseller hosting servers, VPS servers, and also dedicated servers. Now, these are servers that you can set up, but when you want to sell space on these servers, there's no automated way to do it. It's all manual, right? You will have to create packages, and then when a customer gets in touch with you, you will have to manually add that package onto that server. And all of this is manual. You'll have to bill him manually, add everything manually, give him his login details manually, etc. But with WHMCS, what you can do and what we will cover in the demo is you can set up that hosting server automatically the packages get imported into WHMCS, and you can create those plans and sell them via the WHMCS storefront. So there's all the manual part gets taken away. Everything is automated end to end. The customers come to your storefront, they purchase the products, they pay for it, everything gets set up automatically. So that is something that we will cover. And why that is important is because web hosting panels like cPanel, Plesk, they do not have any billing features or any customer management features, right? They are wholly focused towards managing your hosting panel and files within your hosting account. So that is where WHMCS steps in and helps you ease all of those concerns that you have. Lastly, we will also look at another use case, which is for slightly larger web hosts. These are web hosts who have their own hosting servers or have rented space at a data center, right? Now, it's a similar use case to previously, but it's not a reseller hosting service or a VPS server. It's an entire rack server that they have at data centers, and they want to sell their space on those servers. So this can also be accomplished via WHMCS. Now moving on to the installation process for WHMCS. As I said, there are two modes of installation. One is automatic, which is the recommended mode. It's the least intrusive, easy walkthrough, can just get done quickly. Besides that, there's a manual installation process as well for the slightly technically inclined clients that we have. And as I said, that is also documented in the handout that is shared with you guys already. So you can definitely look at that with proper screenshots, all details provided. We will cover the automatic mode of installation as a walkthrough right now. But before I get started with that, there are two important things that you need to know. One is Reseller Club offers a free WHMCS license with every reseller hosting service from the R2 plan and above. And also, there are two terms that you would want to get yourself acquainted with before we move ahead. One is the WHMCS admin area, and the second is the WHMCS client area. What is the admin area? Admin area is basically the panel through which you set up your products, your services, your registrars, your hosting servers, etc. So it is something that you can relate to your Reseller Club account. And the client area is your storefront via which customers can come and purchase your products and services. So it's something like your super site. Let's move on into the walkthrough for our automatic installation process. We will cover this automatic installation, as I said, via Softaculous Apps Installer that's available within cPanel. So you log into your hosting account where you want to set up WHMCS, and you locate Softaculous Apps Installer. You click on that and you reach this page. To the left of the screen, you have a menu which is always available. You click on e-commerce followed by WHMCS. When you do that, the page to the right opens up. You simply click on install now. On the next page, you need to fill in a few details pertaining to the domain where you will be installing your WHMCS, also your license key details, whether your protocol is HTTPS if you have a secured website, or if it's HTTP. You also need to add your admin folder details, your company email, etc. So you fill in all of these details. And as I said, this has already been also covered in the handout. So in case you miss out on a few details here, don't worry, you can refer to the handout as well. On the next page, you add your admin username, you add your password, also your name, select your languages, and click on install. WHMCS, the Softaculous Apps Installer, takes care of the rest of the things for you. It installs the WHMCS module for you, and you're good to go. You have your admin URL that's there, which you've already set up in the previous screen, right? You've set up your username and your password there. You have your admin URL here. So you log into this admin URL using the username and password that you've created on the previous screen. Now moving on to the demo, which is setting up. Now that you've installed WHMCS, you need to set up your reseller account with WHMCS. So that's the first step of this demonstration. So I will just move away from the screen and log in to my WHMCS dashboard, which I've already created for the purpose of this demo. So you will see this is how the panel looks like. This is something that I've already installed using the same steps that I showed you in the previous walkthrough. And my domain is rc-whmcsdemo.com/admin, which is most typically the URL that you will receive for your admin account. So here now we need to configure our reseller club reseller account with WHMCS in such a way that WHMCS can now communicate with the reseller club API service. So firstly, before we move on to adding our reseller club account over here, we need to ensure that we whitelist the server IP where we've installed WHMCS in our reseller club account. So you go to settings and API within your reseller club account and you whitelist these IPs, because that's the first step for enabling WHMCS to communicate with reseller club, right? So once you've done that, you wait for an hour or so, following which you can log into your admin account. You go to this spanner that you see here, the configuration icon, and you click on system settings. You scroll down and locate domain registrars. Here you scroll down and locate reseller club. So once you locate reseller club, I've already activated the module, but you will see the icon as activate. You click on activate and you will see this screen. You add your reseller club ID here. You add the API key, which is again available within your reseller club control panel under settings and API. And you can just check this option in case you want reseller club to act as a designated agent for domain registrations. And you click on save changes. Once that is done, your reseller account is set up with WHMCS. And in case your IPs, all of your IPs have not been whitelisted, you will also get a prompt here which states that some IPs are not whitelisted, please whitelist them. So you can copy those IPs and whitelist them under settings API within your reseller club account, right? Once that is done, you're good to go. The next thing that I would recommend is configuring your branding within WHMCS. So setting up your branding, your customized look and feel, your logo, you can do that under general settings. So when you go to configuration system settings, you would have to just confirm your password once again. And this is the screen that you will see. You can add your company name, your logo, any custom text that you want here. You can also add any localization pertaining to your time zone, etc. Anything pertaining to the layout of the screen that you want. WHMCS offers some default templates. So all of these branding you can complete here. Settings pertaining to domain names, emails that are sent out via WHMCS, etc. All of that is covered under this section. Once you've done that, you click on save changes and you are good to go. Now, once you've set up your reseller account with WHMCS, the next step is setting up your TLDs within WHMCS. So again, we proceed to configuration, system settings. And here you click on domain pricing. I've already added a few TLDs here, but we can definitely go ahead and add another TLD here, which we can then see if it is getting added onto our storefront, right? So let's proceed with .us. You can choose to offer any free services that you wish here. Under auto registration, you can select the registrar through which you want that domain registration to go through. Now, this is another important feature at WHMCS, because suppose you are signed up with multiple registrars, you can add all of your reseller details with all of those registrars, activate all of those registrars within WHMCS, and you can choose. So you can choose .com goes through reseller club, .net goes through another registrar, etc. But now for the purpose of our demo, we do not have multiple registrars configured. We just have reseller club. So I will select reseller club and click on save changes. You will see that this TLD has already been added, but it's not, the setting is not yet completed because we've not added pricing. So we click on this pricing button that you see, a new pop-up will open. Under that, you will see the pricing for a 10-year tenure, and you will be allowed to enable selected tenure. So you can choose not to sell the domains for the entire tenure of 10 years. You can just choose 1 year. For the purpose of our demo, we will choose 1 year. You can of course choose 2, 3, and you can select all of these tenures as well. But for the purpose of our demo, we will only select 1 year. You can add the registration pricing that you have. You can add transfer pricing as well, followed by renewal pricing, and click on Save Changes. As you can see that these changes have been saved, and we close this window. Let's proceed to the client area now to see if these TLDs are visible, and especially the .us TLD which we have just added. So say I search for test123.us. I add the captcha that is visible here. All right. Just add some random keywords there, because as you can see that TLD is available, and the pricing that we configured is also visible here. You can add this, the customer can add this to their cart and proceed to checkout and complete the payment on the next pages. So we'll just go back to our client area. That's our admin area. As you can see, the domain registrar is set up. We've also set up one TLD. The same is visible on the client area. This completes a domain registrar setup within WHMCS. Now, in addition to the default registrar module that's offered through WHMCS, Reseller Club Mods also has a domain registrar module with a few advanced features that are not available through the WHMCS default registrar module. Now, some of these features include support for all of the GTLDs and CCTLDs that are offered through Reseller Club. You also have support for internationalized domain names. You can sell aftermarket premiums from Afternic, Cedo, etc. New GTLD premiums. All of that is integrated in this domain registrar module that's offered through Reseller Club Mods. Besides that, a few advanced features like DNSSEC support, GDPR protection, automated domain restorations, etc., are also available through this module. And now Reseller Club Mods is someone that we work, as I said, we work very closely with. They are someone who we back because of the amount of effort that they've put into integrating the WHMCS APIs with Reseller Club APIs, and they offer a host of benefits for all of the clients that are signed up with Reseller Club. So if you notice, Reseller Club Mods is the most popular tool that's available on the WHMCS marketplace. It's been consistently at the top for the past 10 years or so. Sorry, excuse me. It's consistently been at the top for the past 10 years or so. And yes, it's extensively used by most of our clients. Besides that, it also offers a host of free tools. Now, the free tools that are offered also are quite extensive. Multiple currencies, importing customers, exporting customers, importing domains and their setup, integrating with all of the TLDs, etc., is all available through the free tools that are available via Reseller Club Mods. Besides that, Reseller Club Mods also has extensively documented everything in an easy walkthrough format. That's what I like about Reseller Club Mods, that it's so easy to integrate. Even a layman without additional technical skills can easily install these modules. I'll just show you what I mean. So say, for example, you visit the Reseller Club Mods website, right? And you say search for the domain registrar module. Here, if you click on, of course, you can see the features that are available, the additional features. I just covered a few of them. there are a host of additional key features that this module offers, right? Now, if we click on documentation and go to how to install / setup, you will see that everything is documented in an easy walkthrough format. Everything is step by step. So once you complete step 1, you move to step 2. There are screenshots. It's a proper walkthrough, right? So this is something which is an added incentive. It's a unique thing pertaining to Reseller Club mods. Of course, for users with additional knowledge, there is also APIs that are available. So Reseller Club Mods has also created their own APIs which you can easily integrate. So this is for people with uh, developer knowledge, coding skills, who know how to deal with APIs, etc. There is an added API section where you can go through each of these APIs and set it up yourself. So these are some of the benefits when it comes to Reseller Club mods. Now, of course, Reseller Club mods, yes, they are chargeable modules, but as you can see, that is also because of the amount of work that they've put in to make our life as clients easier, right? So, but do not worry, right? These things are uh, discounted at Reseller Club. You can get in touch with your account manager. They can provide you with a discount coupon for these modules in such a way that you can easily integrate all of your products via WHMCS and explore all of the features that Reseller Club mods offers. Now, before we move ahead, we'd like to quickly take a quiz question to see if you've been able to catch up with what I've been saying. And hopefully I've not run through the domain registrar setup. And of course, we'll be also taking additional questions at the end of this webinar. What is the name of the registrar module for Reseller Club within WHMCS? I think this is a very easy question, and most of you should get this right. Yes, as we predicted, most of you are getting this right. That's great. We can see a lot of answers coming in. Let's keep this open for a few more seconds. That's great, guys. Keep answering this. Yes, we can see a lot of answers coming in now. That's great. That's great. It's quite encouraging that we're yes, most of you are getting this right. So I can see that most of you have voted and most of you have got this right. The answer is Reseller Club, so that's correct. Congratulations to all of you who got that right. Moving on to the next and most important part, because most of you also voted for this, which is configuring hosting packages or hosting servers within WHMCS. Now, this is another demonstration that I will be taking you through. So again, I will have to move away from my screen and go to the WHMCS admin area. Again, you go to configuration, system settings, and here you locate the option called as servers. You click on servers and you click on the option add new server. Of course, for the purpose of this demo, our module will be cPanel. We will add the server IP address. So this is the IP address of the server that I've configured for the purpose of this demo. So I will add that here. We add the username and password for this server. And in case there's an API token, which is not a compulsory field, if your server has an API token, of course, you can add that here. Then you click on test connection. WHMCS will attempt to connect to that server that you just added, and it will import most of the settings that are available on that server. As you can see here, connection successful. Some values have been auto-filled. So these are the values that WHMCS was able to pull from that hosting server. So we're quickly going to change the name of this to multi-domain hosting new. So we're giving this server a name, and you can add additional IP addresses if your server has additional IP addresses. Most of the services on this page or settings on this page are pre-configured. You need not worry about them, and you can click on Save Changes. Once this has been done, you will notice that the new server has been added successfully, and you can also see it added here under multi-domain hosting new. This is the server name that we added. So then this does not complete the setup. We've only imported the hosting server into WHMCS. That is the first and most important step when it comes to configuring your hosting servers. Now, once that has been done, we have to configure the products within this server, right? Because these are the ones that will be visible on the client area, so your customers can come and purchase them. So before that step is completed, our setup for hosting servers is not complete. So let's move on to that step. Once we've configured the server, we go back to configuration, system settings, and we click on products and services. Before we can create our product or plan, which will be visible on the storefront, we need to create a product group. So we click on create a new group. Now, what is this group? This group is basically a menu item on your client area. I will show that to you so that you understand what I'm saying. So say we give this a group a name, we say multi-domain hosting. New, right? And you can give your group a headline. You can, these are just additional settings. You can choose a layout for your plans. We just choose one layout out of random, and you then proceed to save changes. The group has been created successfully, and you will also see this on the previous screen. Here, the group has been added, but there are no plans or products configured under this group yet. So that is the next step. Once we've created the group, we need to add plans under that group. That can be done by clicking on create a new product. For the purpose of our demo, we click on shared hosting, but of course, depending on your setup, you can click on reseller hosting, VPS, and any other dedicated server that you want to configure. You can choose the option as other, but for the purpose of our demo, we will click on shared hosting. Now we will select the product group that we created in the previous screen. So we select multi-domain hosting new. We can give the product a name. Product and plan, these are synonyms here when it comes to WHMCS. So a plan within your reseller club account is basically a product within WHMCS. So I can go with advanced hosting. I can select the module, which is cPanel. And this option, which is create as hidden, is an important option, because if I set this to off, what happens is the plan is then visible on your storefront. But since you've not yet configured pricing, customers, though they will see that plan, will not be able to purchase it, right? So that is why when you're configuring these settings, it's best to keep this as on. But for the purpose of our demo, since we do not have any live customers coming on our websites, we can select this as off, and we can click on continue. On the next page now, you have your product type, your product group, product name, all of this which we have configured on the previous screen, and a few settings that are added by default. When someone purchases this product, you can choose which email goes out, and these emails, as I said, can be configured under the general settings option, which we covered while going through domain registrars. Now, once you've done this, these settings are pre-configured. You click on pricing. You can choose to offer it free of cost, which of course is something that we may not do, but if you have a promo running, of course you can do that. You can choose one-time billing. You can choose recurring pricing. You can add monthly, quarterly, annual billing. So say we go for monthly billing, you can choose a setup fee. For the purpose of our demo, we just add $1 as the setup fee. You can add a price of $20 per month. This is just for our demo. Once this is done, you move on to the next tab, which is module settings. Of course, we'll just click on save settings to ensure that our pricing is saved. We then move on to module settings. Here, if you notice, you may have a question in your mind. Though I've set up the hosting server, how do I know that my packages have been imported into WHMCS? So if you can see, when we set up that server, WHMCS has automatically pulled out that package which I've created on my hosting server. So this is a package that I've created on my hosting server, and this package has already been pulled into WHMCS. If there are multiple packages that you've created, so say for your advanced hosting plan, you can select whichever package is appropriate. For the purpose of our demo, we have just one package, so I select that package. Most of these settings are auto configured, but in case you want to have some fine tuning done to these settings, you can always switch to advanced mode. This is the basic mode that we were on previously. Under advanced mode, as you can see, you have a lot of additional details. You can choose your own package name, your FTP accounts, your web quota, bandwidth, max domains, spark domains, etc. All of these additional settings you can configure via the advanced mode. But for the purpose of a demo, we will just configure it via simple mode. Now, for you to get this set up finally, and for customers to make a payment, and for the order activation and provisioning to go through seamlessly, you need to select the first option, which is automatically set up the product as soon as an order is placed. So this is the first option that you'll have to choose to ensure that the setup is completed automatically. Now you click on Save Changes. Once you're done with this, your product has been set up, your plan has been set up, and this will now be visible on the client area. Let's test this out again. We visit the WHMCS client area, which is your storefront where customers can come. Under your store, you will see the group which I told you about. So this is basically a menu item, as I stated earlier, under your storefront. So you click on multi-domain hosting new, which is a group that we created. And here you can see the plan that you've just created, advanced hosting, the pricing that you just added, and the setup fee. Your customers can come here, click on order now, and proceed with the setup. So you can choose a domain name which you've added, or you have an existing domain name, or you want to register a new domain name, etc. You click on this and you continue with your purchase. Now that concludes the second and most important part, that is hosting server setup. As you can see, it's quite easy to integrate. And also this has been documented in the handout that's been shared with you guys. So you can definitely go through that. If you've not caught up on a few steps, you can refer to that once this webinar is completed. Moving on to the additional provisioning modules. Now, this is something that is very critical, as I said, because the WHMCS default module just offers you domain registration and a basic hosting server setup. But if you want to provision all of the products that you're selling through your Reseller Club account, you will need Reseller Club mods. All of these products are configured via Reseller Club mods. You have G Suite, you have SiteLog, Business Email. All of the products that are available can be sold via Reseller Club mods. Now, these additional modules, as I said, are not developed by WHMCS or Reseller Club because they're focusing more on the core product, while these integration modules are being worked on by Reseller Club mods. And as you already know, that they make our life quite easy because of the simple walkthroughs that they offer. So we just do a quick walkthrough to understand how easy it is to integrate. Firstly, download and then integrate one of these modules with our WHMCS setup. For the purpose of our demo, we will download the business and enterprise email module, uh, of course, which I've already purchased earlier and also added the license. But we will do a quick demo and walkthrough so that you can understand this very clearly. Firstly, you need to log in to your Reseller Club Mods client area. Now, when you're signing up with Reseller Club Mods to purchase one of these licenses, you will get your login details there. You log into your client area, you go to services, my services. Here you will see all of the add-on modules that you've purchased. As I said, for the purpose of this demo, we just have one module, which is the business and enterprise email module. And you can also see your license key here. You click on this module. On the next page, you get your additional details like your WHMCS domain name, the IP address, etc., the directory details, because these have already been pulled by Reseller Club mods. Because when you're signing up, you have to add your root domain name where you've installed WHMCS and your server details so that both Reseller Club mods and WHMCS can seamlessly talk with each other. On this page, we click on downloads. And here, before you set up your enterprise and business email module, you need to set up the Reseller Club mods core management console add-on. Here, this add-on makes your life simpler. If you do not install this add-on, then most of the future steps become manual. But if you install this add-on, everything is an easy walkthrough, one-click installation, and this makes your life very easy. So I recommend that you install this module first. So we click on download, and once you download this module, it will come in a zipped format similar to this file that you see here. You unzip this, and this is the file that you will see. Once you unzip the file, you proceed to your hosting account where you have added your WHMCS installation. You go to File Manager. Once you are within your File Manager panel, you go to the folder where you've installed WHMCS. For the purpose of our demo, we've installed it in our root folder. And here you need to look for the modules folder. Now, if you have just configured the domain registrar module, you will not find this modules folder here. This modules folder will be seen in your file manager if you've configured a hosting server. So the moment you configure a hosting server, WHMCS creates this module folder because hosting gets added as an add-on module to your default WHMCS installation. Now, the first step, if you've just configured a domain registrar, would be simply to go into your unzipped folder and upload this modules folder directly here via file management software like FileZilla, etc. And that would be your first step. But now, since we've already configured a hosting server in our previous step, the modules folder is pre-existing here. So now, since it is pre-existing, we need to see or we need to drill down a little further. So we click on modules and we see that there's an add-ons folder. Now we need to click on modules here as well in our file manager. We can locate the add-ons folder here as well. Now this is again because we've configured the hosting server setup previously, so the add-ons folder can be seen here. So we drill down a little further again. Now you see that you find a folder that's called RCM Core Console. If you go to add-ons, you will not find that folder here. You can see this folder under my file manager because I've already completed this installation prior to this. So you just upload this RCM Core Console folder here via file management software. And once that is done, you are ready to go back to your WHMCS admin control panel to start configuring that add-on within WHMCS. So once you've configured that part of uploading the file to your hosting panel, you proceed to your WHMCS admin area where you can complete the further setup steps. The first step, as I said, would be to configure this add-on module within WHMCS. So what you need to do is you need to go to your admin area, click on add-ons and RCM Core Console V4. Without you uploading that folder to your file manager, you will not see this option within your WHMCS control panel. However, once you've uploaded that, you will see this option there. You click on that. And since we have already installed this prior, you will not see the first step, but I will complete a walkthrough here. Here you can see that this is the screen that you will see when you click on that option. You fill in all of these details. The first step is adding your WHMCS admin user here so that API calls can be made to that hosting server. The next is adding your selecting your registrar. So in our case, that will be Reseller Club. Then adding your Reseller Club reseller ID and also the API key. Again, because the module has to communicate with WHMCS as well as Reseller Club. And the third step is making a note of your download ID. Now, what is this download ID? This download ID is visible within your Reseller Club mods client area. You go to services, my services, and you will see your auto install or download ID here. You make a note of this download ID, and this is the ID that you add in step number 3 on this page. You set up your Reseller Club mods download ID and you click on go to setup. So once you've done that, you click on go to step 4, and under step 4 you need to add your license key. Now again, the license key is available within your Reseller Club mods reseller client area. You add your license key over here and you click on save the settings. Once you've done that, you can go to the next page, which is this page, where it will tell you that the add-on module has been configured successfully. And as you can see, because you've added your module license there, on the previous page, as you can see, you've selected your module as well. So in our case, it is the business email and enterprise email module. Below that, you've added the license key, which is again located within your Reseller Club mods client area. Once you click on save the settings, it tells you that your module is successfully configured, but that is only the first add-on module. You also need to add the Reseller Club mods business and enterprise email module. You need to set that up as well. So here you click on install. Once you click on install, what happens is the process for installing your add-on module for business and enterprise email starts. Now, before we go ahead with the installation process, there are 3 important things we need to know before we can start selling these modules or any products or services through Reseller Club mods. First is an auto setup. Auto setup again is an automated thing. What it does is it pulls all of the plans for that particular product which are in your Reseller Club account into WHMCS. So now for us, it will pull in all the enterprise email and business email plans into WHMCS. The next step is auto add-ons. Now, this is where you configure all of your add-ons like added storage, added email accounts, etc. Followed by product setup. This is where you add your pricing and fine tune all of the final product settings that you want before this plan is visible to your clients on the storefront in your client area. So again, the 3 simple steps, as I said, auto setup, auto add-ons, and product setup. Each of these have to be completed in order. The order cannot be interchanged. You have to go with auto setup first, then set up your add-ons, and finally set up your pricing, which is your product setup. Now, once you've clicked on install, which is this screen, once you've clicked on install, you will be redirected to this screen, which will show you options like auto update, auto migrate, auto setup, auto add-ons, products, etc. So you need to click on the tab auto setup, and here you will notice, as I said, that all of the plans which are in your Reseller Club account have already been pulled into WHMCS. So you will see these plans automatically pulled in. You do not need to manually configure these plans. Once this has been done, you click on auto setup and that will complete the product setup for you. Please know that only the products have been pulled into WHMCS. Pricing has not yet been done. Next, you click on the auto add-ons tab. Here you can configure all of your add-ons like additional email accounts, additional storage, etc. Once this has been done, you proceed to the next step, which is you go to the products tab, and here you configure pricing. You will see 2 options for each plan. So you will see product management and add-on management. Product management is an option where you can add your pricing. Add-on management is where you can add pricing for your add-ons that you've configured. Say I want an additional email account or additional storage, etc. Now, if the settings have not been completed correctly on the previous step that we covered for auto setup, auto add-ons, etc., you will notice a few things on this previous page. Now, in our case, since the settings were completed correctly, we can see both the buttons are blue. But for example, if you're trying this setup at your end and you see that the add-on management button is not basically add-on management, it shows you add-on setup with an orange button. This indicates that the add-ons have not been created correctly on the previous stage. So you need to go there and set up your add-ons correctly. Now, in case you have the add-ons are incorrect, that you have, the first one is that the add-ons have not been set up correctly, or they have not been set up at all. You will see the orange add-on setup option. But if you set them up, but there is some mistake while you set it up, you will see the red button and you will see it as add-on auto fix up. You need to click on that and fix whatever settings WHMCS prompts you to fix. And once you're done, if everything is well, you will see both your buttons are blue, which indicates that the settings are in place and you can freely go ahead and configure additional pricing for your products as well as your add-ons. Once this has been done and you've clicked on product management and you've configured pricing for your add-ons, your products and your plans will now be visible on your client area. You can proceed to your client area. Now, for the purpose of this demo, I can just take you through the pre-configured plans that we have here. We had added the enterprise and business email module. You will find this under the product groups OX business email, OX enterprise email. As you can see, for hosting servers, I had to manually create these groups. But because of Reseller Club mods, now I don't need to manually create these groups. Reseller Club mods has done all the hard work for me, right? So you can already see these groups and the plans and products already pulled into this. All I had to do was just set the pricing for this. So these plans are visible on our storefront and clients can freely go ahead and purchase this. I hope I was clear and you were able to understand the walkthrough as well. This has been documented in detail in the handout, as I've said previously, so you can definitely go through that. This completes our demos as well as our walkthroughs that we'll schedule for this webinar. Before we move into further questions and a final caveat that I want to discuss with you guys, we'll take another question. What is the order of setup for additional provisioning modules purchased through Reseller Club mods? Now, again, this is something that I stressed on during the walkthrough, and hopefully most of you get this right again. What is the order of setup for additional provisioning modules purchased through Reseller Club mods? All right, we're seeing a few votes that are coming in. Let's have some more votes that come in. Great, I can see a few more votes that are coming in. Yes, the scales are tipping in favor of option 1. We can also see people voting in for options 2 and 3 as well. Come on, let's have a few more votes, please. Yes, I see that we've had about 28% people who voted, and 50% of you have gone for option 1, which is auto install module followed by auto setup. Yes, that is the right answer because that is the first step that we need. Without completing that step, we can't proceed to auto add-ons as we will get an error on the last screen. So great, it's 50% of you have answered correctly. That's very encouraging, and you've been able to catch up. So that's great news for us as well. Finally, as I said, I'll just cover a few caveats when it comes to reissuing WHMCS licenses, because this is some thing you may encounter once you've installed WHMCS. You may see an error which states invalid license. Do not panic when you see that license. You do not need to pay to reissue your license. You can reissue your license free of cost any number of times from your WHMCS admin area. Here, why will you get that error stating invalid license is either because your WHMCS installation domain has changed, your installation directory has changed, or your IP address for the server has changed, etc. So these are a few use cases where you may see the error invalid license. Yes, that covers our the major portion for our webinar. Moving on to a few questions that some of you have sent in to us already. So we'll cover those questions. And I can also see a few questions that are coming in now via the questions option that we have on our webinar tool. So we will be addressing a few of those as well. But I'd like to tackle a few great questions that came in the form that we sent out previously. So moving on into question 1, which is a very prominent question. Many of you have asked this question there. Can we sell all products with WHMCS without any third-party module? As I stated during the course of the webinar, this is not possible since WHMCS has just configured a basic registrar module and a hosting server setup module. Additional modules for all other products have to be sold via Reseller Club mods. And as I've taken you through it, it is quite easy to set up. There's just a small cost involved, which of course you can get in touch with your account managers and they will provide you with attractive discount coupons that you can use. Another question that we received, which is again a very prominent one and looks to be a cause of concern, but again, this is something that I've covered during the course of the presentation. Can Reseller Club create their own product modules without a cost attached? So at Reseller Club, what we're doing is we're trying to focus on creating good products basis the need of all of our clients and also basis the industry research that we conduct, right? We're looking at what is the need in the market. We're trying to integrate those products. And at the same time, we have Reseller Club Mods who's been very gracious and helpful in creating these modules for us, where they have integrated the WHMCS API with the Reseller Club API and created a very easy to use module for all of our clients. So the cost that is attached, as I said, yes, there is a cost attached, but that is because of the amount of effort that's gone into creating these modules by Reseller Club mods. But as I already stated earlier as well, do not worry. You can contact your account manager and they'll provide you with a discount coupon, which is very attractive and gets you good discounts at Reseller Club mods as well. Just taking a few questions that have come in now. Thank you for these questions that you sent in earlier as well, and for these questions that are coming in now. One question that I can see is WHMCS is open source or paid? WHMCS, as I said, for cPanel users is available under the Softaculous Apps Installer option, free of cost. You do not need to pay for the WHMCS installation. And also, when you sign up with Reseller Club for a reseller hosting package, from the R2 plan and above, we offer you a free WHMCS license. Now, the WHMCS license that you get through Reseller Club, yes, it can be used to manage your products through Reseller Club as well, and you can also integrate your other companies or other reseller accounts with other registrars, etc., using that license key. Another question is regarding the again regarding the license key. I'm just trying to frame that so that every one of you can clearly understand that question. It's a one-time fee. So the question is around what is the cost for the license key? Is it a one-time fee? Is it a monthly fee? Is it a yearly fee? So the cost for the WHMCS license, as I said, is if you purchase the reseller hosting plan R2 and above, it's free of cost. And there's no other cost that's involved. Of course, in case you want to upgrade the license, since the license that we provide is for about 250 domains, and in case you want to have 250 or more domains added under your WHMCS account, you will have to upgrade that license, and there's a very small yearly cost that gets added to that. Does Reseller Club give free license? As I said, yes, with every reseller hosting package, R2 plan and above. Can we install WHMCS the way you've spoken about and use a higher license from WHMCS? Absolutely, you can. That's a very good question, Frederick. So you can absolutely do that. As I said, you can sign up for a higher license key directly with WHMCS, pay them, and then you can add that license key to the setup and use it freely. Does WHMCS have a built-in shopping cart? Yes. So it does have a built-in shopping cart, and this shopping cart, as I said, is your client area, which is similar to your super site that you have with your Reseller Club account. Another question is a very good question. Can I install WHMCS anywhere, for example, on a Linux shared hosting package? Yes, you absolutely can. You can purchase a basic Linux hosting package and install WHMCS through Softaculous Apps Installer. There are also a host of other questions that have come in, and just for the sake of time and to not keep you for more time, what I will do, I'll just take one last question, but do not worry, the rest of the questions, we've made a note of them, and we will get back to you offline once this webinar is completed. How to use purchase invoice and profit and loss? That is another important question. A lot of you want to know, how do I find out profit and loss? How do I get that report? There is a report that one of the WHMCS users themselves have configured, and you can easily integrate that. It's a set of queries that are there with their steps. So this is something that we will email to you directly. We'll get back to you with the exact report and the queries that are needed, and you will have your ready-made profit and loss tool within your WHMCS account. So thank you for all of these questions. I hope this session was helpful to all of you, and thank you for joining us. Of course, yes, we did go a little over time, and we tried to squeeze in as much information as possible. I hope you were able to grasp whatever was spoken, and you can of course refer to the handout that's available. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. I hope this session was helpful. Thank you.